Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Vishwanath Tiwari from Central University of Rajasthan. Today I am going to talk about types of enzyme catalysis, acid base catalysis, covalent catalysis as well as other type of catalysis. This module has been taken from the paper Molecular Enzymology and Protein Engineering. The objective of this module is to understand the different type of catalysis which help to understand the enzymatic reaction and its kinetic. So, this module is divided into acid base catalysis, covalent catalysis, intramolecular catalysis, it is also known as proximity and orientation effect catalysis, then conformational distortion or strain catalysis, and then electrostatic catalysis. So, when we are talking about enzyme catalysis, then enzymes, as you know, they are biocatalyst converting reactant into the product, are producing a transition state in the mid. So, the substrate is converted into the product by an enzyme and substrate bind to the active site of the enzyme, and that leads to the transition within that active site, and then products form. And rate of conversion of substrate into the product are slow because of presence of thermodynamic and kinetic barrier. When a enzyme facilitating a reaction, the enzyme is playing with the thermodynamic and kinetic barrier which slows the reaction. So, a specific form of transition state, as you know that substrate bind to the active site and transition state is formed within that active site. So, a specific form of transition state depends on types of particular reaction or type of catalysis. Based on the different type of catalysis, the different type of transition states are formed. So, different types of catalysis includes acid base catalysis, covalent catalysis, and intramolecular catalysis, and some other catalysis are also there such as electrostatic catalysis, strain catalysis, transition state binding catalysis. Different type of catalysis follows different path to convert substrate into the product, but enzyme remain unaltered after completion of the reaction. As you know that in the definition of enzyme and catalyst, enzyme and catalyst always remain unaltered after the use. So, kinetics of enzymatic reaction is mainly dependent on the type of catalysis. So, therefore, it is very important to understand what is the type of different enzymatic catalysis. First, so what are the different type of catalysis that is possible? The first catalysis that is known as acid base catalysis. The second catalysis is covalent catalysis. The third catalysis is intramolecular catalysis. The intramolecular catalysis is also known as proximity and orientation effect catalysis. The fourth catalysis is conformational distortion or strain catalysis. The fifth one is electrostatic catalysis. The acid base catalysis is further divided into specific acid base catalysis and general acid base catalysis. Covalent catalysis is further divided into nucleophilic catalysis and electrophilic catalysis. Intramolecular catalysis, conformational distortion catalysis and electrostatic catalysis doesn't have any subdivision. We have one another type of catalysis that is known as catalysis by stabilizing transition state. That is not very important because that is itself the mechanism of your enzyme. The first type of catalysis is acid-base catalysis. As you know, acids are the molecules that can donate the proton, while base are the molecules that can accept the proton. Acid and base can donate or accept the proton in order to stabilize the transition state. As you know, transition state is important for conversion of substrate into the product. Therefore, if acid base catalysis is altering the stability of transition state, they will facilitate the process of catalysis. So, based on the proton taken or given by the substrate, acid base catalysis is classified. So, in acid catalysis, hydrogen is taken by the enzyme, that means given by the substrate. In base catalysis, hydrogen is given by the enzyme, that means it is taken by the substrate. In acid base catalysis, you know that acids and bases are donating and accepting the proton. So, basically in acid base catalysis, the transfer of proton is taking place from enzyme to substrate and substrate to enzyme, and in this way they are facilitating the process of enzymatic reaction. A specific acid base catalysis. This is the first type of acid base catalysis. In specific acid base catalysis, only the proton or hydroxyl ion which involve in a specific acid base catalysis is sensitive to the change in the concentration of proton, that is either H3O plus or OH minus. That means in a specific acid base catalysis, the reaction is independent to the concentration of other acids which are proton donor or base which are proton acceptor that is present in the solution. But when you are talking about the solution, here the solution consists of active site solvents, which is most of the time water, as well as groups that is present in the active site, which comes from the amino acid side chains. So, the protonation of H3O plus, as we are talking about a specific acid base catalysis where only proton coming from water is involved in the reaction. So, the protonation by H3O plus lower the free energy of transition state, that is a specific acid, or abstraction of a proton by OH minus lowers the free energy of transition state, then a specific base. In both the cases, we will have a specific acid base catalysis, and decrease as acid and base catalysis is dependent on the pH, because pH will change the proton concentration and hydroxyl ion concentration. So, decrease in the pH increases a specific acid catalysis, while increase in the pH enhances specific base catalysis. General acid base catalysis is the second types of acid base catalysis, where the rate of reaction are responsive to all the acid and bases present in the solution. When we are saying solution, we are saying about active side chain, and water or any other component that is present into the active site. So, during the general acid base catalysis, that's what the name general, because everything is involved. The partial transfer of the proton from Bronsted acid to the substrate lowers the free energy of transition state, while partial abstraction of proton by a Brownstein base lowers the energy of transition state. And the rate of reaction in general acid increases with decrease in the pH and increase in the Brownstein acid. If you compare it with the specific acid base catalysis, then you can see that in that case the rate of reaction is only responsive to the change in the pH, while in this case they are also responsive to the Brownstein acid. Brownstein acid here includes all those components that is behaving like acid, but they are not associated with the water. For example, side chain and any other thing that is present in the active site. Similarly, the rate of reaction in the general base increases with increase in the pH, is similar to the specific acid base catalysis, but they are also responsive to the increase in the Brownstein base. Again, here you can see that in case of general acid, we are including the contribution coming from the Brownstein acid and Brownstein bases, because they are the one that making this catalysis as a general acid base catalysis. When you are talking about general acid base catalysis where the side chain have the contribution, so we have to see which type of side chain is behaving like general acid, which type of side chain is behaving like general base. You know that the acids are one that can donate the proton. So anyone that is having proton, they might behave like general acid. So therefore, the protonated form of histidine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, lysine, not only that, the tyrosine and cysteine, they are also having proton. They all are behaving like general acid or Brownstein acid, as well as its unprotonated form, which are capacity to accept the proton, are behaving like general base. And histidine is very important when you're talking about general acid base catalysis, because its pK is close to neutral pH. Hence they can accept the proton and they can donate the proton. As you remember, pK is the pH at which group is half ionized. So when you are putting anything, any amino acid at its pK, it is having both form, ionized form, unionized form. So they have best capacity to accept and donate the proton. So environment around the catalysis active site, catalyst active site, also influence the general acid base catalysis, because they can influence, they can alter, they can influence the proton accepting and proton donating capacity of the side chain. So for example, hydrophobic environments increases pKa of acid while decreases pKa of base, and adjacent charge residues increases pKa of acid and decreases the pKa of base. So therefore you can say that the presence of surrounding around these acid and bases also have influence, as well as its environment in the active site also have role. Similarly, salt bridge and hydrogen bonding, they are the non-covalent bond that is formed there, also have influence on the acidic and basic behavior of the Brownstein acid and base. So they will decreases the pK of acid while increases the pK of base. So in this way you can say that in general acid base catalysis, not only the water present in the active site, which is important for a specific acid base catalysis, it is the side chain of active site which is also involved. The environment around that side chain, ionizable side chain, are also important, and the interaction which is formed between substrate and enzyme are also very important. After discussion of acid base catalysis, let's have an example of enzyme which follow acid base catalysis. So chymotrypsin, you know that this is an enzyme involved in the cleavage of protein in the digestive system. So chymotrypsin follow acid base catalysis, and histidine that is present in the active site of chymotrypsin play significant role in the acid base catalysis. Not only that, histidine, if it is present in any other enzyme, they are also playing significant role in acid base catalysis. So why histidine is so important for acid base catalysis? Because histidine has pK values which is close to physiological pH. That means they can accept the proton, they can donate the proton. Therefore, they can act as a general acid or general base. Hence, for any enzymatic reaction where acid base catalysis are involved, histidine is playing a very significant role. In chymotrypsin, we have a catalytic triad that have spartic acid, serine and histidine. As I told you that histidine is involved in the catalysis, that is acid base catalysis. Similarly, serine of the catalytic triad is involved in the covalent catalysis. That means chymotrypsin not only using general acid base catalysis, but at the same time they are also using covalent catalysis, which we will discuss in the another type of catalysis, and that is known as covalent catalysis. So you know that now we will discuss covalent catalysis. You know that covalent bond is a strong bond that is formed between two molecules. So covalent catalysis involves a formation of transient covalent bond between substrate and residues of the enzyme active site, or sometime with the cofactors. Why I am saying transient covalent bond? Because the covalent bond formed between enzyme as well as substrate is not fixed. Once a reaction is over, then they undergoes cleavage. So the formation of covalent intermediates help in reducing the energy of transition state and facilitating the reaction. The groups which contributing in the covalent catalysis are regenerated after the catalysis. The covalent catalysis not only lowering the activation energy, but they also provides alternate pathways by producing the covalent intermediate which is having energy more favorable. Therefore, they are faster than normal substrate to product conversion pathway, and the chemical modification of enzyme is returned back to its original unmodified state after completion of the reaction. In the covalent catalysis, amino acid side chains like epsilon amino group of lysine are involved in the Schiff base formation. Imidazole of histidine, thiol of cysteine, carbonyl group of spartic acid and hydroxyl group of the serine are involved in formation of covalent bond between active site and the substrate. Several families of the enzyme has been demonstrated which form covalent intermediates such as serine proteases which form acyl serine intermediates, cysteine proteases which form acyl cysteine intermediates, protein kinases and phosphatases, which form phosphoamino acid intermediates, pyridoxal phosphate utilizing enzyme, which form pyridoxal amino acid CIF base. So, this shows that the contribution of amino acid side chain is very important when we are talking about covalent catalysis. Covalent catalysis is divided into two groups. One is electrophilic catalysis, where your side chain of the active site is positively charged and it need negative charge in the substrate. Similarly, nucleophilic catalysis have involving negatively charged side chain which involve positive charge in the substrate. So you can say that lysine, which is having positive charge, they might be having in electrophilic catalysis, and serine hydroxyl group, which is negatively charged, can participate in nucleophilic catalysis. The first class of covalent catalysis is nucleophilic covalent catalysis. Nucleophilic reaction involves donation of electron from the enzyme nucleophile to a substrate with partial formation of covalent bond between the side chain group and groups in the transition state of the reaction. And the reaction rate in the nucleophilic catalysis is dependent both on the strength of attacking nucleophile as well as on the susceptibility of substrate group, which is electrophile, that is being attacked. That means if the substrate which is electrophile in nucleophilic catalysis is having leaving groups, then it is going to follow a better nucleophilic catalysis, because in the nucleophilic catalysis the side chain behaving like nucleophile and substrate behaving like electrophile. The example of nucleophilic catalysis involve those residues where the side chain is negatively charged, because the side chain of the if the side chain of the amino acid is negatively charged, then they are involved in nucleophilic catalysis, and such side chain includes hydroxyl group of the cysteine or carbonyl group of the aspartic acid. The second class of covalent catalysis is electrophilic covalent catalysis. In electrophilic catalysis, covalent intermediates are formed between cationic electrophiles of enzyme such as epsilon amino group of lysine and electron rich portion of the substrate molecule which behaving like nucleophile. Amino acid side chain are not very effective electrophile. Therefore, electrophilic catalysis requires electron deficient organic cofactors or metal ions. Most common mechanism that electrophilic covalent catalysis involves is involvement of cationic nitrogen atom, which is present in the lysine. But if you see that nitrogen in terms of its electrophile nature is itself is not a strong electrophile, but it can act as an effective electron sink because of its easy to protonation, and it can form cationic unsaturated adduct very easily. So therefore, when you're talking about electrophilic catalysis, then only few amino acids are involved and mainly the ions and metals ion that is mainly involved in. But when we are talking about metals ion and other directly, then that is classified as another type of catalysis that is known as electrostatic catalysis. But when we are talking about influence of these ions for catalysis of enzyme and substrate involving the amino acid, then it is a covalent catalysis. The examples of electrophilic covalent catalysis involves lysine or its epsilon amino group, and the enzyme which undergoes electrophilic catalysis are aldolase. It is enzyme which is present in the glycolysis, or some other enzyme which involve some cofactors. For example, pyridoxal phosphate containing enzymes, TPP containing enzymes, they are involved in the formation of covalent intermediates. As I already told that if we are talking about electrophilic catalysis, the side chain itself is not strong electrophilic. The other molecules that involved in this catalysis are the vitamins. So the examples of PLP containing enzyme is aspartate transaminase, while TPP containing enzyme is pyruvate dehydrogenase. So this aspartate transaminase and pyruvate dehydrogenase, they also undergoes electrophilic covalent catalysis, but they are performing electrophilic catalysis because of the presence of these PLP and TPP, which is a basically coenzymic form of the vitamins, pyridoxine and thymine. The next type of catalysis is intramolecular catalysis. As the name suggests, intramolecular, so that catalysis is taking place within the molecule. When we are talking about within the molecule, then it is not possible for us, because enzyme is different and substrate is different. So until they will combine together, we cannot say intramolecular catalysis. So when they will combine, during the formation of ES complex. So when the ES complex formation take place, then substrate and enzyme combine together, and then if they are undergoes covalent catalysis, then they are forming a strong covalent bond, then we can say that they undergoes intramolecular catalysis. So the intramolecular catalysis, or because of the formation of ES complex, it probably reducing the entropy of the reactant that makes the reaction such as ligation more favorable. This type of reaction is more predominantly performed when we are having fusions. We have ligations, not those reactions where we have lysis. Therefore, we can say that enzyme can accelerate a reaction between two species by holding the reactant together in an appropriate orientation. This is also known as proximity and orientation effect catalysis, because the concentration and orientation effects of substrate into the active site is associated for this type of catalysis, and it is important for substrate binding and catalysis. This is the reason why it is known as proximity and orientation effect. So in intramolecular catalysis, orbital steering is related to the proximity effect and states that juxtaposition of reacting group among the substrate and active site residues is not sufficient for the catalysis. In addition to the positioning, the enzyme need to steer the molecular orbital of the substrate into a suitable orientation. This is the reason why this catalysis is known as proximity and orientation effect catalysis. So when substrate are sequestered within the active site of the enzyme, their effective concentration are greatly increased, with respect to their concentration in the solution. And the structure of enzyme active site is designed to bind to the substrate in a specific orientation that optimizes the reaction. An enzyme active site group has evolved to optimize this steering that is involved in the substrate binding and catalysis. After discussion of intramolecular catalysis, now we will discuss about conformational distortion or strain catalysis. As it is reported that transition state has better interaction with enzyme. Not only that, they have even better interaction as compared to the substrate itself. So, the binding of substrate to the active site leads to its conversion into the transition state, and this induces the structural arrangements which strain substrate and its bond at a position closer to the conformation of the transition state, which decreases energy difference between transition state and substrate. And you know that if the energy difference between transition state and substrate decreases, which lower down the activation energy, hence enhances the reaction. How this strain catalysis perform its function? Although strain catalysis is mainly involved when we are talking about lysis. So, during the lysis, we need the breakage of the covalent bond which is present within the substrate. So, when substrate bind to the active site, there is a conformational changes in the substrate which makes substrate slightly unfavorable, and the bond which is undergoes cleavage is going to be cleaved. So, resultant strain distorts the target bond and weakening it and making it prone to the cleavage. Therefore, during the strain catalysis or conformational distortion catalysis, it is a basically enzyme that create constraint on the bonds of the substrate which is required to be cleaved. And if you remember lysozyme, this is a one of the best known enzyme which involve strain catalysis. In this figure, you can see that how a conformational distortion or strain catalysis works. A substrate bind to the active site, an ES complex is formed. After binding to the substrate, there is a induced fit change in the ES complex, and that leads to the modification of normal ES complex into the activated ES complex. An activated ES complex have orientation of active side chain or catalytic residues of active site in such a way that they are creating strain, they are creating distortion in the bond which undergoes cleavage. So, once we have activated ES complex and distortion or strain are imposed on the bond which undergoes catalysis, that bond will be cleaved. And once the bond will be cleaved, enzyme again adopt the different conformation which result into the release of cleaved product. So, in this way you can see that in the strain catalysis, it is a basically strain that is imposed on the substrate cleavable bond by the enzyme that will lead to the degradation of your substrate. But this type of catalysis is only adopted when we want a lysis in the substrate. We will not have any addition. So whenever you have lysis such as lysozymes, so then you can use that enzyme is basically involved in that type of catalysis. The electrostatic catalysis. As the name suggests, electrostatic means charge. So when you are saying charge in the active site, the few amino acids come in your mind. They are arginine, lysine, they are positively charged. Then we have aspartic acid and glutamic acid, they are negatively charged. So these amino acid residues are involved in the stabilization of charge transition state by forming the ionic interaction. For example, if your transition state is positively charged, you require negatively charged aspartic acid in the active site. If your transition state is negatively charged, you require positively charged lysine or arginine in the active site. So in this way, your transition state is stabilized by forming some electrostatic bond between transition state and active site of enzyme. So in this way, this type of catalysis is known as electrostatic catalysis. Similarly, the displacement or replacement of water from active site will also enhance the dielectric constant of the active site, which further strengthen the strength of electrostatic interaction. Because it is well known that the energy of electrostatic interaction is inversely proportional to the dielectric constant of the medium. This is the reason why if you have any electrostatic interaction in the water with dielectric constant around 80 and you have same electrostatic interaction in ethanol with dielectric constant around 24, the strength of interaction in ethanol is relatively more. So when you have replacement of the water in the active site, dielectric constant increases, which strengthens the electrostatic interaction between polar substance and your active site, which enhance and stabilizes the transition state. And once the transition state undergoes stabilization, the activation energy goes down and that leads to the facilitate in the reaction. Electrostatic catalysis are mainly involving the metal ion of the enzyme, such as metal ion present in the carboxypeptidase decreases the pK of the water in such a way that makes water a effective nucleophile, and then they are involved in the nucleophilic catalysis. So electrophilic catalysis itself is helping the other catalysis. Catalysis by stabilizing the transition state. This is not the specific case of the catalysis or a specific type of catalysis. If you see all the catalysis, they all are stabilizing the transition state to promote the process of catalysis. But when you are saying case specific types of catalysis, then it is important to know what is happening in this catalysis. So what happened? Enzyme active site is bind with the substrate and substrate is converted into transition state. So if your active site residues anyhow stabilizing the transition state, then activation energy of the transition state goes down and hence the process of catalysis is initiated or facilitated. Therefore, in all the catalysis we are stabilizing the transition state. This is another name that is given to this particular catalysis, which is itself is a part of all the catalysis. So students, let's summarize what we have discussed in this module. So in this module we have discussed the different type of catalysis. If you remember, we have discussed acid base catalysis, we have discussed covalent catalysis, we have discussed intramolecular catalysis, we have discussed strain catalysis, we have discussed transition state catalysis. We have also discussed why acid base catalysis are classified into general acid base catalysis or specific acid base catalysis based on the involvement of amino acid side chain of active site or involvement of hydroxyl group and protons. We have also discussed about the covalent catalysis. We have discussed how electrophilic covalent catalysis is different from nucleophilic catalysis. We have also discussed what are the specific requirement for the catalysis that is utilized by different type of catalysis. So enzyme can adopt one catalysis model or more than one catalysis model. So we have also discussed how chymotrypsin involved in acid base catalysis as well as covalent catalysis. We have also discussed what is the role of electrostatic catalysis in the process of enzyme catalysis. At the same time, we have also discussed how a transition state is important when we are talking about types of catalysis. So in this way, we have learned how substrate is converted to the product and what is a contribution that enzyme active site is playing for its conversion.